all my brain and my ears and everywhere, so I'm unbalanced. So I can drive now, just not at night, but I just can't walk up the stage so much. I'm sorry. I get unbalanced really quickly, but my mind is there and my heart is there. So I think I'll just put this down here, please. But the next person is we're going to have a discussion group. So I'd like to introduce my husband, John Pace. Without him, I could not do the peace-building work that we do here in North Carolina. Without him, I know he doesn't think he's important, but without him, truly, I could never do this peace work. So John will tell you about the question that's going to be at your tables, and we're going to have fun and discussion group at your table. Thank you.
I will give you an opportunity to just share with each other based on this particular question. I'll pass these out. The discussion question is, how does your faith tradition encourage people to seek and practice living in a peaceful world? So if you could, maybe you could choose one person to sort of be the moderator, and everyone take a moment to share about their own personal experiences with their faith tradition, and maybe come up with an answer to this question.
Okay, my name is Quanta Dawnlight, and I'm a member of the Baha'i Faith, but I wasn't born with that name. My name at birth was Faika Gözütok. I know you can't say that, so I changed it. Actually, I have known the Unification movement since 1972. I used to go to their meetings on Forest Street off of Hillsborough Street. So I have been acquainted with them for 50 plus years. And I was so happy to be at this table of Hindu, Buddhism, Islam, and Unification, and Baha'i. And I am so happy to be here because it is really a blessing that we are the salt of the earth and we're trying to bring everyone together. And I just wanted to let you know that Baha'i faith is about oneness of God, oneness of all religions, and oneness of humanity. That is the Trinity of faith, oneness. I don't know what else to say. Is there anything that you want me to say?
You did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so yeah, we're here in the Chapel Hill, Durham area. I'm actually originally from Arizona though, so not very close to here at all. But as we were discussing and talking, we were talking a lot about Jesus Christ. He was the ultimate example of peace and love and charity. That's something that we were talking about as a group, is how we can be examples, how we can help others to find peace in their lives, right? And it starts with Christ-like love, which is charity, right? Jesus Christ, he was crucified, and he was still able to have love for the people who did that to him. He asked the Father to forgive them of what they had done. And so we discussed on how we can develop that Christ-like love, that charity for others. And that's where peace is gonna begin. It's a good starting point. I don't know if there's an exact answer for that question. There's a lot of different things, but we thought that's where it begins, is when we can develop that Christ-like love and his attributes that he had while he was on the earth. Because he was perfect, he was the perfect example. And that's kind of where it all starts. And so that's what we thought. Those were kind of our thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you.
You all look amazing. That's one of our Bishop Charles Dudley, that's one of his favorite things to say, is you all look amazing. But it's true. I think at our table we talked about, our brother Nadeem here from the Islam faith talked about, and oh, by the way, I'm a Unificationist, so I'm a Christian. Talked about, if we don't have justice, we can't have peace. And that's really true. But then the question was, what is justice? And how do we attain that? And then, of course, my comment was, well, I think individually, people have to come to a sense of peace of the conflict within themselves. And you know how it is. Sometimes we're conflicted. I don't want to get up this morning. Then our peace is already disturbed because we already, there's something negative that we're thinking. I think if we get into a peaceful place within ourselves, then we can create an environment of peace around us. And then we don't want anything to disturb that. So we want to replicate that wherever we go. And I think once we do that, then we can sit down at a table of brotherhood, as we're all doing today, and begin to start with, as I heard John say, Universal Peace Federation's 3 tenets: interdependence, mutual prosperity, and shared values. We have to do that. If not, we're going to continue to see, and now in America, there's conflict all over the world, we know that. But in America, we were talking, Tom here, we were talking about violence right here in America. Somebody feels like, oh, I got a gun, which now you don't even have to have any background check to get, and you just go up and shoot somebody because you think you can. How can we have peace in that type of environment? So until we individually, and then in our little neighborhoods, working on our communities, in our states, and replicate that throughout the nation, and then maybe we can attain some type of world peace. Thank you.
But everybody at our table had something, I think, important to share. And so I am going to attempt to represent what they said. So, Fally talked about the work she's doing to work for equality for women, especially since they're on her homeland of Cambodia. And Max said that he really feels like the family is the critical point to creating world peace. And he compared it to a chariot where you have 2 wheels, which is the husband and the wife, and God is driving the chariot. So that's creating a family, which is the building block of world peace. And Minister Aman said that for him, community is important towards world peace. So they go door to door in their community, teaching and sharing about peace and learning from each other. And then Minister Anita said it's all about listening. When we listen to each other, then we create this environment for peace. Yeah, thank you.
On our table, we had Jim, we had Tim, we have John, Asan, and myself. We had almost like there were consistent themes that ran across, but on our table we talked about love, more love, that the world needs more love. And also we also talked about what is truth and what is untruth. Because if we can't properly define what is truth and what is not truth, that's where conflict comes about. And when you have conflict, then you need all of us wonderful peace ambassadors to bring people together and talk about reconciliation. But also looking for solutions, we also showcased and talked about using our blessings to bless other people, and that the world needs more blessings and have systems in place. But also powerful that your table measure the interdependence, say, neutral shared values, that also, we talked about that. But then also what also stood out was finding beauty in nature and having systems to balance the power, which we thought that was also very important, because where you have unbalanced power, you do not have structures in place, that's where you have conflicts and we in the search for peace. So some of the key takeaway was building systems and also practicing the shared values. Universal Peace Federation, there are 7 core values that your table talk about: neutral prosperity, share values, interdependence, and that inter-religions part of it, which I think when we all work together and be respectful of individuals' religious background, then the world would be a better place. But then we also talk about science. The truth with science and what is also truth. So, and I think it was Jim who raised that part, which I think now we knew what the word of the law of nature. We go back to the Garden of Eden. It took many years for the world to be created before man even came in existence. So, to close, let's hold the 7th principle of the Universal Peace Federation close to us, and we say thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Muhammad Nadeem Abbas, given name. And I'm from Pakistan originally. I'm here for 40 plus years. Came to do my PhD in NC State. Stay here, have 2 beautiful daughters. And my boss is my wife, definitely. Later on, I found that she's actually from the Mughal Empire, a princess. I did not know that. When I searched and my daughter was born, she had red back all over. I said, what is that? I've never seen any baby with red patches. So the doctor said, oh, Asian have this type of thing. I said, but she's not Asian. Asian means Chinese. We, from the subcontinent, are not classified as Asian. So we call Southern Asian, according to the British, because that's what their reference point. So we call British as the Far West. So this is all the reference that we talk about. In Islam, as far as my understanding, I'm not a scholar. I run a non-profit organization because people did not know what is Eid, which we celebrate. 1.8 billion people did not know. So I started that in 2007. I have done a lot of work in political side also. And I have a great relationship with politicians. David Price, who just retired, is teaching at Duke University. I have a great relationship. So I saw all the faces. I have researched, I have published papers and everything. I write books and everything. So I have seen and met so many group of people. So it is a reference point which we talk about it, and everybody is biased. So in Islam, there are 2 principles: the rights of God and the rights of people. In our Quran, it says the rights of people come first before the rights of God. It's clearly written there. Nobody can dispute it. Because He created people. And just like if somebody praise my daughters, I feel so good about it, right? I think everybody does. So if He created a creature and you serve them, then He will get happy. So really He said that, or she, I don't know what kind of thing is it actually. So He said that my right is that you think that you should believe that I am the only one, there is no sharing with me in my kingdom. And the people need justice to be done. And justice cannot happen without peace, and peace cannot happen without justice. So both are interchangeable. As long as we get out of our bias, we will see the world differently. Like I was talking on our table about the Dark Ages. Dark Ages happened only in Europe. But the Asia was flourishing, golden age at that time, which is totally missing. 800 years is totally missing. So we are biased actually when we write the school textbook. Those 700 years are not there. So bias is the more important thing to look into instead of, it will provide you all the solution in my opinion, that if you are getting out of the bias. So we were just talking about the Holocaust. People know Holocaust because of the media over here more than the Holocaust, what happened in Bengal by the hand of Churchill. 2 million people died over there because he took all the food away to feed his fighting force in Africa. The Scandinavian kings did more Holocaust and killed more African than what happened in Germany, but nobody knows about it. So we have to get out of our bias and bring justice, peace will inshallah come automatically. We say inshallah means God willing. Thank you.